Rusted coin. What's good for a rusted coin is it increase item drop rate. I really recommend using those things before you talk to the little crow guys if you're going to give them items. They're useful for that. Otherwise, they just improve item drop rates. So where are we headed, Karkaroff? We are headed to the Forest of Giants, the first level, quote-unquote, of the game. Well, it's not real. I mean, there's another place we could go. We actually could have gone to the Tower. Heidi Tower of Flame, which is the lighthouse I was pointing at in the distance. What's up with this? Visions of chest, and then right. Actually, you know what? It's actually easier to just drop down right here, now that I think about it. Because even though lots of people, for some reason, have died walking up this little plank, I really don't feel it. Knowing my luck, I'm going to die right now, but I've never died walking up this plank, and I never will, apparently, at least not on camera. But a lot of people have died there. I was playing, not yesterday, but the day before that, and I saw like 80 bazillion people die on this thing. Go down and die, 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 die. Nah, he made it. What a letdown. Seen a lot of people die. A lot of bloodstains where their death comes from walking down that plank incorrectly. So there's somebody's soul sign. That's nice. I'm not going to summon them, though, because I'm too much of a hardcore badass. You're dead. This is such an easier start than with the Deprived, because even though the Deprived has that Morning Star, he ain't got the stats to use it. Run, 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 run. He also has, you know, pretty patootie armor. I'll be fair and say that. Made it. Homeward Bones, Soul of Lost Undead. Homeward Bones do exactly what they did in Dark Souls 1. They're pretty useless in this game because you can teleport around. And not to mention that, bonfires are a lot more player-friendly spaced this time, I guess is a better way of putting it. So you don't really have to, it's not as big a deal getting from bonfire to bonfire this time. See, he still hit me because I have low adaptability. Adaptability does two things that really matter. It increases your iframes when rolling, and it increases the speed at which you use items, which means Estus flasks, healing items, and iframes during rolling. Those are kind of important. So notice I used the bonfire, but I didn't rest at the bonfire. So it's active, but I'm not actually. You also notice that what's the proper term for it? A full hit is much more significant this time. Hollow infantry boots, hollow infantry booties. See how those stack up. I like the look of hollow infantry booties, I really do. But they're worse than my booties, so I'll stick with my booties, I guess, even though I don't really like how they look very much. But the full hit damage versus the diggling sort of sissy hit damage in this game is pretty significant. So with maces, you really want to get right up in guys' faces. Hollow infantry helm. I'm not going to equip that because it looks stupid. See, on my other character, all it would give me was life gems. And on this character, all they'll give me is gear I won't use. Another pro tip, if you ever see an enemy just kind of laying there like that, yeah, he's probably actually alive and just taking a nap and beat him to death. What's solo lemma? Level 12. I don't really know how much it takes to level up. Where is everybody? They're all kind of at a distance. I'll go for this guy first. Get out of there. I screwed up. That was my own fault. I screwed up. That was bad play. The reason that was bad play is twofold. One, I'm too used to playing my PS3 character. Even now, I've only played like maybe 5 hours tops on this version. Most of that's been me running around running my mouth and, you know, thinking about what I wanted to do with it. And the big issue is that you need to understand I haven't. My PC. Why do I keep wanting to say PC? My PS3 character is considerably higher level, to say nothing, and has a really high adaptability. And I've been talking about adaptability and item use speed and iframes. Yeah, there's a reason I talk about that, because I'm used to playing this on a character who has much higher adaptability, and it can use items much faster. My normal character would not have died there because he would have gotten the item use. Jesus Christ. He would have gotten the item use off, and he also would have dodged that arrow. he would have gotten the Estus off, and he would have dodged that arrow. This time I'm not going to try to showboat. So I need to go get my P-Dipper 1,000 souls back. And that was a great setup too. Also, maces are really good in this game. Like, lots of people will tell you how the club is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and anybody uses a goddamn club in this game. I'll tell you, I really don't like the clubs. I don't like them. I think you have to be too close to hit with them. The range is too short. Some shit. The game claimed he was blocking. Pop. Yes, there's a guy over there sitting by the tree. We're not going to do anything to him yet. Because there's also an annoying little prat sitting up top shooting arrows at us. I don't like annoying prats shooting arrows at me. I don't like idiots trying to mosh me on staircases either. You almost get the feeling I know what I'm doing. My dodging is so off, I'm just gonna... God, this thing swings so slow. Also don't like the slow-ass swing. Short sword, Soul of a Lost Undead. I'm going to show you how to do weapon comparisons right now. So you'll see the short sword does 100 damage plus 45, right? So I'm going to do a quick discussion on weapon scaling. In this game, there's like E, D, C, B, A, and S scaling in the previous Souls games, like Demon Souls and Dark Souls. This game is different. E scaling basically doesn't... E scaling and D scaling are pretty much the same, and as a result, D scaling doesn't really exist for the most part. It's pretty rare to see D scaling on a weapon. Most of the time, you'll either see AE or CC or something like that. B scaling is also really rare. For the same reason, it's really close to A scaling. S scaling is really basically A scaling, just ever so slightly better. So the scaling you will see most often is either E, C, or A. A is a lot better than C, but it's not like a huge difference in my opinion. E is not as terrible as you might think, and you know, that's really all there's to say about it. One thing I will tell you right now is that strength weapons scale better than dex weapons. They just do. I'm not going to talk about the mechanics or what the literal number crunching says, but dex doesn't give as much damage from scaling as strength does. Strength scales better than dex. That's all it really comes down to in this game. So the reason I'm pointing this out is because we've got a CC, And a straight C weapon here, we're going to go ahead and use the short sword. This is how you tell. So the short sword, again, based on just looking at numbers, you'd think the short sword's a worse weapon. Morningstar does 115 plus 115 plus 67. We're going to switch to the homunculus mace real quick. The short sword does 110 straight, and the homunculus mace does 130 straight. With yeah. So why does the homunculus mace scale worse than the short sword? Good question. Because the short sword is CC and the homunculus mace is CE. They're getting the same scaling from strength, but it scales better with dex, so it gets better scaling. So you need to pay attention to scaling on things. In this case, the homunculus mace wins, even still, because it just has so much higher base damage. But let's say we were going with the Morningstar, where it's got that bleed, but it only has straight that. You know, it's 115 versus 100. Believe it or not, the 115 is only 34 versus 45. Likewise, as I said, 39, 34. It's only a 5-point difference in their scaling because it lost that E. Not a huge difference in scaling. The homunculus still hits harder. I think it looks crappy. But I like the short sword. Short sword's faster. It's got some advantageous abilities to it. But the homunculus mace isn't bad. I think I'll use it for a bit, actually. There's a quicker way down here, but I'm not going to do that right now. Because it's a little dicey, because I also left one of those guys who's pretending to be asleep alive down there. So I like the short sword because I like swords. That should come as no surprise to anyone who's watched my YouTube videos before. I'm going to cut this after I get past this next little bit here. But yeah, that's a Heidi Knight right there. We're going to address the issues with him in a moment. Die, die, die. We're going to hit him with the homunculus mace because he doesn't want to fight us straight out. That's fine. Oh, you little bastard, trying to get all fancy on me. Shit. God. See, here's my problem. As I said, I don't like maces. I don't like maces because I think their range sucks and their attack animations are too slow. And that's what's getting me killed. I'm trying to use a mace, a weapon that I'm not very good with, because I don't like it very much, and it's just I'm not as used to the speed. I'm not as used to it. Believe it or not, that guy's never killed me before. I'm not even joking. He has never killed me before. That is the first time that guy has ever killed me. And I can't blame anyone but myself. I just... Again, I'm just not used to playing with the mace. I'm making myself play with something I'm not that good with and making newbie mistakes because of it. There's hollow infantry armor. It's not terrible. Let's see if it stacks up to my armor. No, it is terrible compared to this armor. I'm too used to playing a deprived where pretty much anything is an upgrade. I'm going to ignore this guy this time. That was a blood stain. As you can see, the mace does do more damage to those guys. Because many enemies in this game just aren't resistant to blunt. So there's a lot of enemies in this game you can really F up pretty hardcore if you have a blunt weapon. God, he is so fucking slow, man. So slow with this thing, man. I just... And no, I'm not going to go fight that guy until I clear the Utcher up top first, because it's not safe to fight him first. I mean, I've killed the guy with a damn dagger before. I should be better than this, but... I'm just kind of stunned I'm getting so much gear, too, and not any life gems. I'd really actually rather have the life gems, to be perfectly honest. God, it is so slow to swing. Jesus. So now we're going to show you the short way down. What are you doing, dude? Come on, get engaged. Oh, bullshit. He dodged my backstab, which is what I've been going for the whole time. I told you some enemies can dodge it. Should be able to get it off. We're going to finish him with the short sword. That was weird. He just kind of teleported almost. Get out where it's a little more open. Shit. Come on. Just wind up for me, please. Come on over here. Go for that third swing. He did that teleporting shit again. Oh shit, I forgot I had those binocs on. Almost got myself killed. That was funny. Go for that third swing. Thank you. Mighty Knight Sword. Now we've got a weapon. Let's get off those binocs before we get ourselves killed as a result. This is a great little weapon here. The Mighty Knight Sword. 75 physical damage. Doesn't seem too impressive, but it does 50 lightning. Not very many enemies resistant to lightning. This is also one of the key coolest weapons in the game because notice it scales at CC and C, meaning it scales well with lightning damage, dex, and strength. So you get good scaling bonus with all stats. So notice on the short sword it's 45. Well, guess what? On this it's 45 too. So even though it loses 25 damage over the short sword's 100, it gains 50 lightning with a scaling of 18 lightning off my faith and int lightning bonuses. Yeah. So that's going to be a high damage weapon. That's going to be a high damage weapon. I'm still going to keep this homunculus thing handy. The only thing I don't like about the Mighty Knight Sword, and this is a serious sword. Okay, I'm not going to joke. You could take this sword all the way through the entire game and never replace it. I'm not joking. And there's a broken straight sword. You can actually loot that without even fighting him. You can just walk up and take it. The only thing I don't like about it is this. I hate the attack animations. I'm used to it because I'm used to fighting with it, but it's a little weird animation. The slash and thrust is actually pretty cool. And when two-handed, it handles just like any other straight sword. So I like to two-hand it a lot, but I'm pretty expert with this particular little doohickey. I did use it on my last playthrough pretty extensively, took it all the way to +10. Will I do it this time? I don't know, but I might. It's a really good sword. It's really a very solid all-around weapon. You could do way worse than having the Mighty Knight Sword in your hand. As you can see, 2 hits, 1 kill. And that's why that big, wide R2 swing is handy. Because you can hit multiple enemies. Again, it was almost like I knew they were there. He's dead. Those guys are nice farming because they can drop their armor, which kind of sucks. But they can also drop the bastard sword, which can be pretty handy if you want to be a strength build. Archer at the top of the stairs. He thinks he's going to snipe me. No, you're not. How did I miss? Get out of the corner. Dodge away so he doesn't throw a firebomb at you. I don't mind using a life gem. I've got 20 of the friggers. Come at me, bro. Oh, God, that was bad. Not just because I said come at me, bro, but because I actually let him hit me. Be wary of up. So that was funny. I actually killed him in the 2 swings and somehow managed to stay locked on the guy who's hiding up here. Well, he's not really hiding. You can see him from here. And booyah, Buckler. This is a really good shield for a dex-based character straight up who didn't pre-order. Buckler. You can see it's not really that great. It's not as good as the Iron Parma as far as defensive capabilities go, but it's a buckler, so what does that mean? It means it's got a slightly longer parry time on it. So I'm actually going to cut my video here in just one quick second. What does this one say? Bonfire in short right. You're right, there is a bonfire in a short right. Not the right I'm about to take. Guess what? He's not dead either. He's just sitting down. But he's not getting back up now. At least not until respawning. Witching urns. Those are like fire bombs, except magic fire bombs. And here we go. Before I activate the bonfire and talk to her, we'll go up here. Early game spoiler / tip. Oh my God, this door is locked. This is so frustrating. What do I do? Two-hand my sword and I bash the shit out of it is what I do. Most doors you see like that with the iron framing, they'll say you can't break them down. That one you can. So do it. Just do it. 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 If you got that reference, you're old. That, and you should know that I've butchered a reasonably good song by a guy who you may not agree with him on the personal human level, but his music wasn't bad. Why are you breaking all these boxes, Kark? Because I can. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm just doing it to do it. Oh, this guy's still alive, by the way. Somebody probably didn't realize that. Let's see what happened to this poor sap. Yeah, he woke him up, and then, yeah, he was going with that old homunculus mace. Thought he was the big dog with that homunculus mace. And he got himself hosed. This chest is not trapped. Small leather shield. Small leather shield is not a bad shield either. Again, it's 75. The Iron Parma is really better than both of those, but it's not bad. The Iron Parma is really the best shield you can get from a starting character. If you pre-ordered, the bound shield is the best shield you can have if you pre-ordered it first. There is a shield you can buy that's better than the bound shield. Again, off Maulin. It's 1,500 souls. This is another chest that is also not trapped. But the rest is flash shard, small white soapstone shard. That's used for helping other players, but you're never going to use it because there's a better way. Be wary of treasure. I guess so. You want to take this carefully. You don't want to mess this fall up, but yeah, just drop right there. Divine Blessing. Divine Blessing is exactly like what it was in the previous Dark Souls games. It's just a really big HP heal, restores all your status effects. Boom, like the bonfire. And here's an old lady you can talk to. We're not going to listen to the old lady. So if you're a speed runner and you just love strength, this is one of the most stupidly overpowered weapons in the game. It's a club. The Cestus ain't bad either with that AB scaling. It really isn't. I don't know what to tell you. The Cestus really isn't bad. It doesn't hit anywhere near as hard as the club, though. The club, very good for deterring people from stealing your car. It's also one of the most overpowered, poorly balanced games and weapons in Dark Souls 2. The club really actually is a badass weapon. With its straight strength scaling, its ridiculously low stats, and its huge strength scaling with a rate of A. And it even has halfway decent durability at 50. Dual wielding these fuckers in power stance. I've seen people speed running this game playing pure strength builds at like 60 strength, killing some seriously hefty foes in like 2 and 3 hits dual wielding these in power stance. It's just ridiculous how much damage they can do if you get them both to like +6 or 7. Explorer's set. This Explorer class warrior set is traveling merchant stuff. You might want to buy the hat just because it does increase item drop rates, so you might want to buy the hat. I don't care that much. A lot of this stuff is cool. You do want to buy this, the Pharos Lockstone. I'm not going to talk about why. Again, I'll talk about those later. You don't want to buy it now. What you do want to buy now is Leningrass key, because it's the key that Leningrass needs to get into his blacksmith shop. So you want to buy that right here, right now. Here's some sorceries you can get early in the game. Pretty straightforward. You would have either or of these. If you started as a cleric, you already have heal. If you started as a sorcerer, you've already got soul arrow. Again, they're just here for other players to get those miracles and sorceries early game. That's enough of that. Pro tip number 53,000. Talk to NPCs until they have nothing left to say. I'm not going to make you watch me do it, but trust me, every NPC you meet out in the world, talk to them until they have nothing left to say. Most of them, if you talk to them until they have nothing left to say, will eventually move to Majula, where they might have more stock, where you can continually access them far easier, and it's just a lot more convenient. There's no other way of putting it. There's actually certain areas of the game you cannot access if you do not talk to them until they have nothing left to say and move to Majula. So talk to NPCs until they have nothing left to say. I'm now going back to Majula, and we'll call that a day for uploading and recording and all that for now. Toodles.